and tracks me. So as I walk around, it's going to track me throughout here. Even if I go inside, it can look backwards and it's going to see me inside this gazebo. So that is really cool. All right, I am on a dock at a private island. Now the island's only about, I don't know, maybe an acre, maybe 2 acres in size. And the person wanted to have cameras on it, which makes sense, so that he could watch the dock and the cabin and gazebo that's on it. So what I did is set up a Tapo camera system, and separately I had to get Wi-Fi out here, so we had to beam Wi-Fi from his house. I have a separate video on that you can check out in the comments down below. Hey everyone, this is Nate and this is the Nader Tater channel. Alright, let's go through and review a little bit of these cameras. Now, Tapo is actually like underneath the TP-Link brand, so if you've heard of TP-Link before, Tapo has cameras that actually have some of their other smart devices like smart plugs and whatnot. And the one thing I will say is no matter which brand you end up going with, if you want a security camera, is really do consider the ecosystem that they offer. Right, so some of them don't offer a very strong ecosystem, other ones offer a strong ecosystem, and what I mean by that is you want their devices to work together. And so if you get multiples and they have different types of devices, let's say you need some indoor cameras, you need an outdoor camera, you want a solar one, you want a pan tilt zoom one, look at the systems. And one of the things I really do like about this Tapo setup is they have a lot of different options you can pick from. Here's just 3 of their different types that they have. For my setup, or for this video, what I'm going to show is actually a buddy's island that he has inside of a lake, and he wants to have some security camera set up. So he has a couple challenges there. One of them is Wi-Fi, so I have a separate video of how I'm getting Wi-Fi out to that island with some TP-Link setups. And then also his next one is security. So he wants some camera footage, and so he does have some solar power at a little cabin in there, but then some other ones are going to be out where he doesn't have any access to power, so they need to have their own self-sufficiency with a solar panel themselves. So these setups really do answer that, at least on paper, and that's where we're going to test them out and see how they do. Now, some of the Tapo's cameras are as cheap as under $30. Some of these are more, obviously, if you add some more features to them. These two are the Hybrid Cam Duo, and this comes in a single pack or 2-pack. I think the 2-pack's like $115. So, you know, roughly you're paying a little under $60 a piece for this. But what's really cool about this Hybrid Cam Duo is it has the top camera, which is adjustable, but it's stationary. And that one's going to give you one view, field of view. And then the bottom one is actually motorized and can look around and track stuff. So it gives you multiple cameras in one setup and allows you to literally see around corners, because you can have one camera looking this way all the time and the other one can be either looking the other way, and it's going to pick up and track different objects. So that's what I really like about these cameras here. And if we look over here at the big one on the bottom, this is the C660 kit. And so this one is a outdoor solar powered one. You can see in the picture here, the solar panel is mounted to the camera base, but you can also move them and have them separate. I think it's like a 13-foot cable, so that solar panel can be 13 feet away from the camera. And then this one has both panning and tilting on this unit, and you can see it has lights on it. So we'll open that one up in a second. And then this one is the MagCam Solar 4K. So both of these units are 4K. I guess I should mention this one I think is a 2K setup. But on this one's really a smaller form factor. It's just a little bullet cam, and it has a magnetic base, which makes it nice and easy for placement. And then it does have some LED lights on it, and it has, again, the solar panel. So let's open them up real fast and see what they do. Alright, and then I like these boxes on the side of them, this yellow area. It goes through some of the key features, and most of these features are actually the same between these cameras. I'll talk about a little bit of the differences here. The key one to know is that they have AI detection capability, so it can detect, let's say, a human or a car, that kind of object. And then also that is done locally. So that's a big difference between one that has to go to the cloud, because the cloud-based ones are going to typically be slower because it has to transmit the information. But then also it means you have to have internet connection for it to work. So this one does not require that. These hybrid cam duos use, they do have color night vision, which means they have LEDs that can light up, or they can use infrared light. obviously like a lot of cameras do. And all of these have micro SD slots on them, so that's one way you can put a local SD card in and get local storage, I think up to 512 gigabytes. They also offer cloud storage, and then I believe they also have a home base unit that can be used for storage of all your cameras in one single location at your house or property. And then all these are outdoor rated, so they're IP65 for protection. They have two-way audio for all of them, so they have microphones and speakers, so you can both talk to people and hear them on your smartphone. And then, of course, they all use a smart app, so you can control them, look at them. We'll go into that in a little while. And then they do interact with different smart home systems. So, for example, works with Alexa, works with Google Home. And then I can click on the gazebo camera, which is where we're at right here. All right, so now it has the AI detection capabilities. You can see that it actually puts a little box around me. That's actually optional. You can turn that off if you don't like that feature, but I think it's really cool. And you can see it up there on top of that gazebo, just on the bottom of the roof line. And then this camera pans and tilts and tracks me. So as I walk around, it's going to track me throughout here. Even if I go inside, it can look backwards and it's going to see me inside this gazebo. So that is really cool. Now, if I go up the hill here, I'm obviously going to get out of frame of this camera, but I'll get in frame of the next set of cameras at the cabin. All right, what I can do here is I can actually go to like a 4-screen layout, and then I can see all of the, I can see 4 cameras. There's actually 6 lenses total on 4 different cameras. But now as I walk up here, I'm going to walk up and come around this little shelter. Now you can see on the corner of the cabin is a camera set that picked me up. And you can see that it said person detected, so it gives you a app notification. You can of course change those settings there, but it has 2 cameras. The bottom camera pan and tilt and tracks me. Now that one's not picked up on this 4 cameras. It's one of the 2 that's not picked up, but you can see the other one, that bottom camera is on here, and you can see it tracking me. So it's going to go around and track me, whereas the other camera view is going to be stationary, always looking out in front of the cabin. And then I can go down here, go down the trail to the south of the dock, and now we have another camera set up there. So you basically have full coverage of this island with this camera setup. All right, so as I go down here, this is a good 180 feet away from the cabin. As I walk down here and I get around this corner, the camera will pick me up. There it is. And you can see, I can actually hear myself talking, but this will go all the way out here, and my tablet is still connected to Wi-Fi. Obviously it's streaming over Wi-Fi right now. This has no cellular connection. So this is all the way to the end of the dock. So this is how far the Wi-Fi goes. This is over 1,200 feet away from the house, and it stays connected. There it is, and it stays powered up over solar, so we never have to charge it, no replacing the batteries or anything in it. It just is all self-sufficient. All right, so I'll show you the powered cameras are really the same way to add them. We just plug that in. I'm using the Jackery here. It's my portable battery generator. It has 2 kilowatt of capability here, so it has plenty of power. But I'm using this because we haven't wired up the rest of the cabin with hardwired power, but we'll do that soon. So let me go in here and add this camera and show you how easy it is. All right, so you can see my other cameras added in here already. I'm gonna go ahead and go into my Wi-Fi settings and try to find this new Tapo camera. And there you can see it at the top there, the Tapo Cam 3C. So that means when you first plug it in, it'll have its own little Wi-Fi network that you connect to. And then you click add device in here. I'm about to tell your device here to always connect to it because it's not gonna have internet, obviously. Then we'll click add device, outdoor camera. This one is a C246D. Make sure those lights are flashing green and red, and then it will be connecting to it. So here you can see that it's connecting, it's looking for the device. I found it, and now I'm going to tell it to use the Wi-Fi. Now I told it to save the Wi-Fi that I had before, so it already remembered that Wi-Fi, and now I just click connect to that one. And so it's going to connect to the Wi-Fi network that we have out here. Connecting to Wi-Fi. There you go. You could just hear it say connecting to Wi-Fi. You give it a second to do that, and then we can set up some settings and stuff later. So while it's doing this, Wi-Fi connected. So this says Wi-Fi connected, but while it's doing that, you can see here, this is not pulling out hardly any power, so I get 96 hours that this camera can be plugged in to this unit and still be powered up, and it only has 63% of the charge in it. All right, so now we can give it a name. So this one, we're going to give it a cabin. You can give it an icon, which I don't fully understand, but they have that. And then we don't need to test the Wi-Fi. I know it's good here. This will go through the settings for mounting it, but I've already mounted it, so I'm not going to do that. But if you need those instructions, they do have them here. I'm going to dismiss the free trial. They do have that option of cloud-based, or it can just store locally on the SD card. Okay, so now you can see in the app it added it there as Cabin South. Now I can click on it and I can view what it is, and then I can adjust the settings. Now the first thing I notice on these cameras is they are upside down. They're inverted, which is kind of weird to me, but we can fix that in the settings. We just go up here to the settings, and then we go in here to the video and display and click invert image, and now it will be inverted. And then I probably want to set up how I want these things to view. All right, so the bottom one is the stationary camera, and then the top view here is the one that actually moves around, so we can set them up separately and different viewpoints. They can both do tracking, or sorry, only the moving one can do tracking, but both of them can detect people, pets, vehicles, that kind of stuff. And we can go through here and change all these different types of settings based on what we need for our use cases. We can also change what areas they look for motion. So here on detection, I go into here and I can adjust if I want detection for all. I can set it for each or for all of them. Now here for tracking, what we found, especially with all these trees around, we only want to track for specific items. So we're going to have it just track people, pets, and vehicles. That way it's less likely to detect the leaves as something to track and look away from people. I can also turn off general motion detection, so only if it detects a person, a vehicle, or a pet will it detect it as actual motion. All right, you can get camera tampering, turn that on if someone starts moving the camera. The other thing that's really cool here is this line crossing detection. So if you have a neighbor that is in the field of view and you don't want to detect it if they stay on their property, you can literally draw a line here, a boundary, and receive a notification if someone crosses that line. That's pretty cool. I haven't seen that on most of these cameras before. That's a new feature. You can set them up to patrol, so they kind of are always like looking around and doing stuff. Okay, and then the other probably key setting is the night mode setting. So you can have it set up where, and each camera is separate. So the fixed lens and the PTZ lens, or the PT lens, you can set up so that it's infrared, so it just uses the IR light, or you can have it as the full color mode where it will turn on the little spotlight. So if we want to turn on the spotlight, we just go to full color mode, and now it's going to kick on the spotlight for both the fixed lens and the PT lens on here. All right, and we want the smart mode because we want it to be infrared until it detects motion, so it's not using up the power the whole time. So we'll do smart mode for these, and then we'll go from there. All right, so let me just walk out here and see what it does when it detects me. It lost with the grade. All right, I would say that's pretty good tracking that it can do there. It did lose me a couple times behind trees, but it was able to pick me back up as soon as I came in view, and then kept tracking me. All right, so here is this little pavilion that's out here up against this dock. And so we're gonna screw this on. This is a multi-bracket, so it holds both the solar mount and the camera itself. This is magnetic base, or this is a metal base, and the magnetic base sticks to it. And this is if you want to have the solar right with it. If you need the solar panel to be further away, you can be, I think, 13 feet away, and just take off this little metal base here and then mount the solar panel separately if you need to. But for us, we get plenty of sun with it, so we're just going to have it all connected together. All right, so hooking it on is super easy. This is magnetic, so you can just stick it on and off very easily, and then this solar panel adjusts multiple different ways with that little set screw as well. So very quick and easy to install. Okay, so just press that power button to turn it back on here, and we're going to try to connect to it. Now I already set up this camera I tested it at my house with a different Wi-Fi network, so it's not going to work here because I have a new Wi-Fi. So we're going to have to reconnect to it and then get it to be set up on the this new Wi-Fi. Okay, so we're going to go in here to the app, the Tapo app, and we'll click Add Device, and then I'm going to tell it it's an outdoor camera. We got to go in there and pick what kind of camera it is. All right, this one's a Tapo 460, so I'm going to click on that one. It says wait for the lights. I think they're already green. I powered it on a few seconds ago. Let's see what it does. All right, so now I got to connect to its Wi-Fi. So I got to go in here and see if my tablet can find the Wi-Fi. There it is, Tapo Cam 866D. Now it's connected to it. So now the app is automatically going to find this device. Okay, so now it was already set up before, but I'm going to tell it to reset it just because I want to start fresh here. Alright, so it found the camera. Now it has to connect to a Wi-Fi. This is where I'm going to have it hook up to the Wi-Fi that we want out here.
Connecting to Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi connected.
Okay, so there you go. You can see that it is now working. Alright, now we're going to set up for the mounting location. This is easy. Just pop it on here. We'll plug in the solar panel. Alright, it tells you all the advice for how to do that. And we already have it set up that way. You want a 15-degree down angle. It probably helps with water and sun. Already charged the battery. All right, now it goes through the whole setup and shebang here, but we've already done this, so we're just gonna skip through with next. And we will skip the range detection. And there we go, we got the view of the dock there. All right, and that is finished. Now I can click on it. And there we can go, we can see the live view of it, and we can start manual recording, we can do volume, we can activate the sound so we can have a two-way conversation with it, and we can set off alarm and lights, all kinds of fun stuff. So we'll mess with more settings here in a second. Alright, so now we've added all the cameras. So there's 4 cameras and a total of 6 lenses. There's 2 solar power cameras on the dock on either side of the island, the north side and the south side. And then on the cabin, on each front corner of the porch here, we have cameras as well. So we've named them as the cabin north, cabin south, as well as gazebo and south dock. So what's really cool about this is I can click on any one of these that I want, and I can view them obviously. But what I can do is I can also add more cameras to view all at once by doing a split screen, and then I can add whichever cameras I want to add in here all at once. And this is probably my favorite feature here. So now I can turn it sideways and I can look at it here, and I can see all of the different views set up. And again, there's 2 more views I haven't added onto here, but this is all live. I can see this instantly and be watching this. So I can have this tablet set up and I could just have this watching whenever I want. I can go to any one of these and I can click on it, and then that will allow me to do talk or alarm. All right, so I can go and I can select any one of these cameras. So let's say I pick the one that's looking at me, it's that top corner there. I can click alarm on. As soon as it detects motion, it will alarm. So that's something you can set up as a safety feature on there. But you can go in here, there's all kind of settings. I can manually record, I can take a picture right now, and then that's gonna save onto my tablet here that I have. I could go over here and click manually record. Now it's going to be recording that bottom left, which is that north dock, and it's going to be saving that onto my tablet. Otherwise, it's going to save to the SD card that's in the camera itself, or if you optionally pay for the cloud service, you can have it being saved to the cloud at all times. That's always up to you, but it is a paid option in there. There's other kind of features in here. I won't go through all of them, but I'm actually really impressed with the user friendliness and how quick it is to set these up, and me just to not read instructions, just go through and try to find it, and I seem to be able to figure it out pretty quickly. So pretty cool camera system. I know that this island is well protected now with Wi-Fi and 6 different camera lenses, so no one's going to mess with this place without being recorded. Thanks.